brought to you by Soundlibra.com. You can find a direct link to our full library in the description of this audio, or visit us anytime at Soundlibra.com. Welcome to the Daily Reset, where we explore powerful micro-practices to refresh your mind.
We are so excited to start this journey. Just a quick heads up before we dive in. The techniques we're discussing are for educational purposes and aren't medical or mental health advice, so definitely consult a professional if you have specific health concerns.
That's an important note. In today's fast-paced world, it feels like we're always on, right? Constantly bombarded with information, requests, and to-do lists. It's easy to get overwhelmed, to feel scattered, and to lose that sense of calm and focus.
It really is. And that's precisely why we're starting this series. We're going to introduce you to a radically different approach to self-care, one that doesn't require hours of scheduling or significant life changes. We call it the Daily Reset.
The Daily Reset. I love it already. So, Lisa, what exactly are we talking about when we say reset? Is it like a computer reboot?
That's a great analogy. Think of it like this. Your mind is like a computer that's been running multiple programs for hours. It starts to slow down, maybe freeze up, or just feel sluggish. A reset is a brief, intentional moment to clear out the clutter, refresh your processing power, and get back to optimal performance. It's about hitting a small pause button to regain control of your day.
So, it's not about disappearing for a spa weekend, which is lovely, but often unrealistic for many of us. It's about integrating these small moments into our busy lives.
Exactly. Traditional self-care often makes us feel guilty for taking time off, or it feels like another task to add to the never-ending list. But the Daily Reset philosophy is about empowering you to find moments of stillness and recalibration no matter what your schedule looks like. These aren't grand gestures. They're small, powerful actions you can take in just a few minutes or even seconds to shift your state of mind.
And why is this so important? What's the big benefit of these quick pauses?
The benefits are actually profound. When we operate on autopilot, constantly reacting to our environment, our effectiveness plummets. We make more mistakes, our creativity suffers, and our relationships can feel strained because we're not truly present. By taking a brief reset, we interrupt that cycle. We regain focus, improve our decision-making, reduce stress, and enhance our overall well-being. It's about building resilience from the inside out.
So it's like a mental tune-up, a way to keep our internal engine running smoothly rather than waiting for it to break down.
Precisely. Imagine trying to drive your car for thousands of miles without ever changing the oil or checking the tire pressure. Eventually, something is going to go wrong. Our minds and bodies are no different. These micro-practices are our version of that regular maintenance. They prevent burnout and help us perform at our best, not just for a short burst, but consistently over the long term.
And these resets, they can be tailored to us, right? We're not all going to hit the pause button in the same way.
Absolutely. This is not a one-size-fits-all program. Over the next few episodes, we're going to explore a range of specific micro-practices. We'll cover everything from simple breathing exercises that can calm you in under a minute, to quick awareness techniques, to small movements that can re-energize you. The goal is for you to discover what works best for your unique needs and your daily rhythm.
I'm particularly interested in the micro aspect. Sometimes I feel like I need a whole hour to truly decompress, but that hour just never seems to appear. So, the idea of doing something impactful in just 1 or 2 minutes is really appealing.
And that's the beauty of it. We'll show you how to leverage those tiny pockets of time you already have, waiting for the kettle to boil, standing in line, commuting. These aren't moments to be endured, but opportunities to practice a reset. Think of them as moments to invest in yourself, a small deposit in your well-being bank account.
So, by the end of this series, we'll have a toolkit of these different resets, and we'll know how to put them together to form our own personalized routine.
That's the plan. We'll guide you through understanding the core principles and then provide you with the practical techniques. We'll show you how to integrate them seamlessly, making them a natural part of your day, not an added burden. We'll call these integrated practices your personalized reset routine.
It sounds revolutionary. It's about reclaiming moments for ourselves without having to overhaul our entire lives. It's about small steps making a big difference.
That's a perfect summary. The power of the pause is about making intentional choices, even for a few seconds, to bring yourself back to center. It's about recognizing that even the smallest moments of self-awareness and self-care can have a ripple effect throughout your entire day, leading to greater focus, calm, and productivity.
And these aren't just fleeting moments. We're talking about building a sustainable practice that can have a long-term impact on our mental clarity and emotional balance.
Exactly.
This is about building a lifelong habit that supports your well-being and enhances your performance in all areas of life. So, get ready to discover the transformative power of the pause.
We've introduced the core concept of the daily reset and why these short, intentional pauses are so crucial for managing stress, improving focus, and overall well-being. We've set the stage for exploring practical micro-practices in the episodes to come.
Next episode, breathe your way to calm, the foundational breath reset.
Thanks for listening. Welcome back. Last time, we introduced the powerful concept of the daily reset. Now let's tackle the foundational breath reset.
As Alex mentioned, conscious breathing is foundational. It's something we all do constantly without even thinking about it. But today, we're going to explore how intentionally focusing on our breath can be a powerful tool for immediate calm and stress reduction.
Exactly, Lisa. Think about it. Your breath is always with you. It's your built-in stress relief system. When we feel overwhelmed, anxious, or stressed, our breathing often becomes shallow and rapid. This triggers our body's fight or flight response, releasing stress hormones.
So, by consciously changing our breathing, we can actually signal to our body that we're safe and calm. That sounds incredibly powerful.
It is. When you take slow, deep breaths, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system. This is your body's rest and digest system. It counteracts the stress response, slowing your heart rate, lowering your blood pressure, and bringing a sense of tranquility. It's like a direct line to your inner calm.
That's a great way to put it, a direct line to inner calm. So, how do we start intentionally changing our breath? What's the most basic way to begin?
The simplest way to begin is just by paying attention. Find a comfortable position, whether you're sitting or standing. Gently close your eyes if that feels right, or soften your gaze. Then, just notice your breath. Don't try to change it at first. Simply observe. Feel the air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs, and then leaving your body. Notice the rise and fall of your chest or abdomen.
Just noticing. It sounds so simple, but I can already feel a slight shift. It's like pressing a pause button on the mental chatter.
Precisely. This is the essence of a micro-practice. Even 30 seconds of present moment awareness focused on your breath can make a difference. After you've observed your natural breath for a few moments, you can begin to deepen it. Inhale slowly through your nose, letting your belly expand, and exhale even more slowly through your mouth. Imagine you're gently releasing tension with each exhale.
So, we inhale through the nose, expanding the belly, and exhale slowly through the mouth, releasing tension. That feels really soothing already.
It's amazing how effective such a simple action can be. Now, let's introduce a specific technique that many find incredibly helpful for calming the nervous system. It's often called the 4-7-8 breath.
The 4-7-8 breath. I've heard of this. How does it work?
It's quite straightforward. You inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4. Then, you hold your breath for a count of 7. And finally, you exhale completely from your mouth, making a gentle whooshing sound for a count of 8. So it's in for 4, hold for 7, out for 8.
Let me try that now. Inhale softly, 1, 2, 3, 4. Holds breath, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhales with a soft whoosh sound, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And how did that feel?
Wow.
That exhale, especially the longer exhale, feels incredibly grounding. It's like it pulls the nervous energy right out of me.
That's the magic of the longer exhale. It more strongly stimulates the vagus nerve, which is a key component of your parasympathetic nervous system. The hold also allows your body to absorb the oxygen more efficiently. The 4-7-8 breath is excellent for reducing anxiety, helping you fall asleep, and calming down quickly when you feel overwhelmed.
So, for listeners who might be feeling stressed right now, they can immediately try the 4-7-8 breath. It's accessible anytime, anywhere, and requires no special equipment.
Absolutely. And remember, the counts are guidelines. If 7 for the hold feels too long, start with 5 and gradually increase. The most important thing is to find a rhythm that feels comfortable and calming for you.
That's a really important point, Alex. It's not about perfection, it's about personal practice.
Exactly. Another excellent technique, particularly useful for focus and equalizing your breath, is called box breathing, or sometimes known as square breathing.
I have. I believe it involves equal counts for each phase of the breath, right? Like the sides of a box.
You got it. With box breathing, you aim for equal durations for inhaling, holding, exhaling, and holding after exhaling. A common starting point is 4 seconds for each phase. So, you inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold briefly for 4 before starting again.
Okay, let me give that a go. Inhale softly, 1, 2, 3, 4. Holds breath, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhales, 1, 2, 3, 4. Holds breath, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And what sensation does that create for you?
That feels very balanced and controlled. It's less about the deep relaxation of the 4-7-8 and more about creating a sense of discipline and steady calm. It's like putting your mind in a gentle, steady rhythm.
That's a perfect description. Box breathing is fantastic for situations where you need to remain calm under pressure, like before a presentation, during a tense negotiation, or even just to recenter yourself when your mind is racing. It helps to create that mental equilibrium.
So, to recap what we've learned today about the foundational breath reset, we can start simply by observing our breath, noticing its natural rhythm. Then, we have two powerful techniques to guide our breath towards calm: the 4-7-8 breath, with its longer exhale for deep relaxation, and box breathing, which provides a steady, controlled calm through equal phases.
That's a wonderful summary, Lisa. The key takeaway is that your breath is an immediate tool. You don't need to wait for a break or a quiet room. You can implement these practices anytime, anywhere, for 30 seconds, a minute, or longer, and experience a tangible shift. This conscious connection to your breath is the bedrock of your daily reset practice. It primes you for deeper states of calm and focus.
It truly is. By taking just a few intentional breaths, we're sending a powerful message to our body and mind that it's time to de-stress and find our center. It's the perfect way to begin integrating these resets into our lives.
Absolutely. And the more you practice, the more readily available that sense of calm becomes. Next time, we'll be discussing mastering stillness, even in just 60 seconds with micromeditations. Next episode, the 60-second stillness, mastering micromeditations. Welcome back to the Daily Reset. Last time, we dove deep into the foundational breath reset. Today, we're building on that with another powerful tool.
I'm so excited about this one, Alex. Because honestly, the word meditation can feel a bit daunting to some people. You might picture hours on a cushion or complex philosophical concepts. But the idea of just 60 seconds? That feels much more approachable.
Exactly. And that's the core of what we're exploring in this series. It's not about overhauling your life overnight. It's about integrating tiny, powerful practices that make a big difference. Micro meditations are precisely that short bursts of focused attention that can reset your mind, calm your nervous system, and bring you back to the present moment.
So, we're not aiming for enlightenment in 1 minute, then?
Not quite. The goal of a 60-second micro meditation is much more practical. It's about creating a brief pause in your day. Think of it like hitting a refresh button for your mind. When you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, or just have a million things buzzing around in your head, taking just 60 seconds to intentionally quiet your thoughts can be incredibly effective. It's a tool to quickly regain focus and reduce that feeling of being frazzled.
That makes so much sense. Because sometimes, even when I know I should take a break, I think, I don't have time for a long break. But 60 seconds? I can definitely find that.
And the beauty of it is you can do it anywhere. Waiting for your coffee to brew, sitting at a red light, before an important meeting, or even just between tasks at your desk. It's about anchoring yourself in the present, even for a short while.
How do we actually do it, though? What does a 60-second meditation look like?
There are a few simple approaches. A wonderfully effective technique is to focus on your senses. Pick one sense and tune into it for that minute. For example, you could focus solely on what you can hear around you. Close your eyes, if comfortable, and just listen. What are the loudest sounds? The quietest? Are there distant sounds or sounds very close by? Notice the nuances without judgment.
Okay, so I could be in a busy office and just focus on the sounds. The typing, the air conditioning hum, maybe distant chatter. And instead of letting it overwhelm me, I'm intentionally observing it.
Precisely. You're shifting your attention from the internal chaos of stressful thoughts to the external, present reality of sound. Another option is to focus on what you can feel. The sensation of your clothes on your skin, the chair supporting you, your feet on the floor, or even just the air temperature on your face. It's about bringing your awareness to the physical sensations of being alive, right here, right now.
That's a great point. We often get lost in our heads and forget about our physical presence, forgetting we have a body that's experiencing the world.
Absolutely. And then there's the power of a simple mantra. A mantra is a word or short phrase that you repeat to yourself. It acts as an anchor for your attention, similar to how focusing on your breath does. For a 60-second meditation, you could choose a simple, calming word or phrase. Perhaps peace, or calm, or I am present. The key is to gently bring your attention back to the mantra whenever your mind wanders, which it will, and that's perfectly normal.
So if my mind wanders off to my to-do list, I just notice it and then gently guide it back to repeating calm in my head.
Exactly, Lisa. The wandering mind is part of the process, not a sign of failure. The practice is in the gentle redirection. Think of it like training a puppy. When it runs off, you don't scold it harshly. You gently call it back to your side. You're not aiming to stop your thoughts entirely, but to change your relationship with them, to create a little space between yourself and the stream of thoughts.
That's a wonderful analogy. It reframes it from a battle against intrusive thoughts to a gentle practice of returning.
And remember our discussion on breath work from the previous episode? You can absolutely combine that with micromeditation. You could spend 30 seconds focusing on the calming rhythm of your breath, and then another 30 seconds on a single calming sound you hear. Or perhaps alternate between a word like inhale and exhale. The possibilities are flexible and adaptable to what feels right for you in that moment.
So, to recap this micromeditation idea, we're talking about short, intentional pauses. We can use our senses, focusing on sounds or physical sensations, or a simple mantra to anchor ourselves. The goal isn't to perfectly clear our minds, but to gently redirect our attention back to the present moment.
You've got it. And even though it's only 60 seconds, the cumulative effect can be profound. Imagine doing this just 2 or 3 times a day. That's 2 or 3 minutes where you've actively chosen to step out of autopilot, to ground yourself, and to reduce any mounting stress. Over time, those small moments build up into greater resilience and a calmer overall disposition. It's about making stillness accessible, not a rare commodity.
It feels empowering, knowing that you can create a moment of peace for yourself almost anytime, anywhere, with no special equipment or preparation.
Exactly. And as we move forward in this series, we'll see how these micro practices can be layered and combined to create a personalized daily reset routine. But for now, I encourage you to try out these 60-second stillness techniques. Experiment with focusing on your senses or using a simple mantra. See how it feels to intentionally pause and bring yourself back to the present for just 1 minute.
I'm definitely going to try the sensory focus exercise today. Maybe while I'm waiting for lunch.
Wonderful. So, to summarize today's episode, micro meditations are short, powerful practices designed to reset your mind and calm your nervous system in just 60 seconds. We explored focusing on sensory input, like sounds or tactile sensations, and using a gentle mantra as anchors for your attention. Remember, the key is not to eliminate wandering thoughts, but to practice gently returning your focus to the present moment. Even a minute of stillness can create significant positive shifts in your day.
And that's the power of the 60-second stillness. It proves that you don't need a lot of time to make a real impact on your well-being.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the end of episode 3. Next time, we'll be exploring the incredible benefits of cultivating gratitude with our 3-minute gratitude pause. Welcome back. Last time, we dove into the power of micro meditations and mastering that 60-second stillness. Today, we're shifting our focus to a practice that can profoundly impact our outlook and well-being, cultivating gratitude.
Gratitude. I love that. It feels like such a simple concept, but I know there's real science behind why it works. It's a wonderful complement to the calming techniques we've already explored.
Exactly. And that's what this 3-minute gratitude pause is all about. It's a deliberate practice to shift our attention from what might be lacking to what we already have. It's about actively acknowledging the good, no matter how small. So, tell me, Lisa, what comes to mind when you think about gratitude?
Honestly, Alex, sometimes it's the big things, family, friends, a comfortable home. But I'm also trying to be more mindful of the little things like a really good cup of coffee in the morning or a beautiful sunset. It feels like gratitude is about finding those bright spots.
You've hit the nail on the head. It's incredibly powerful to notice those bright spots. Research in positive psychology overwhelmingly shows that practicing gratitude can lead to greater happiness, resilience, and even better physical health. It's like giving your brain a little boost of positivity.
A positivity boost, I like the sound of that. How does it actually work, though? Is it just about thinking happy thoughts?
It's a bit more than just thinking happy thoughts, although that's a part of it. When we consciously practice gratitude, we're training our brains to scan for and appreciate the good. Our brains are naturally wired to notice threats and problems. It's an evolutionary thing. Gratitude helps us counter that bias. It literally rewires neural pathways to focus more on the positive aspects of our lives.
So, it's like actively teaching our brains to see the glass as half full instead of half empty. That makes so much sense. And you mentioned a 3-minute gratitude pause. That's perfect for our daily reset theme. How do we do it?
It's beautifully simple. The core of the practice is to pause, take a few calming breaths, just like we learned in episode 2, and then bring to mind a few things you are genuinely grateful for. You can do this in a few ways. One very effective method is to think of 3 specific things.
Just 3? That feels manageable.
Absolutely. And they don't have to be monumental. Think about your morning. What are 3 things you might be grateful for from just this morning? Maybe it's the warmth of your bed, the taste of your breakfast, or even just the quiet moment before the day truly began.
Okay, I can do that. This morning, I'm grateful for the quiet drive here, the fact that my coffee machine actually worked without a fuss, and seeing that little robin in the park on my way.
Wonderful. And as you thought of those things, did you notice any shift in how you felt?
Yes, actually. Even just saying them aloud, I felt a little lighter. It's easy to get caught up in the rush and the to-do list, but consciously thinking about those positive things, it sort of stops that momentum of worry for a moment.
Precisely. It interrupts the cycle of negative rumination. Another variation of this 3-minute pause is to recall a positive experience. It could be a cherished memory from your childhood, a recent accomplishment, or a moment of connection with someone you care about. Close your eyes for a moment, bring that experience to mind, and really try to re-experience the emotions you felt. What did it look like, sound like, feel like?
Oh, I can think of a few. Like that time my best friend surprised me with a picnic. I can almost feel the sunshine, hear her laugh, and taste the sandwiches. It brings a smile to my face just thinking about it.
And that's the power of it, Lisa. You're not just remembering it, you're re-feeling it. This strengthens the positive emotion associated with that memory. Over time, this practice helps us to more readily access these positive feelings. Remember when we talked about the foundational breath reset? This gratitude pause builds on that by actively directing your attention towards something positive, amplifying the calming effect of those breaths.
So, the idea is to make this a regular habit, like our micromeditations. When we feel overwhelmed or stressed, we can quickly tap into this gratitude practice to shift our perspective.
That's the goal. Think of it as a mental vitamin. You wouldn't wait until you're sick to take vitamins, right? You take them regularly to maintain your health. Similarly, practicing gratitude regularly helps build your emotional resilience and preventative well-being. It's a proactive way to manage stress and enhance your overall happiness.
And over time, does it become easier to find things to be grateful for or to access those positive feelings?
Absolutely. It's like building a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it gets. You'll start to notice things you never paid attention to before. You might find yourself feeling grateful for simple things throughout the day without even needing to dedicate a specific 3-minute pause. It becomes more of an ingrained outlook.
That's a fantastic outcome. So, to recap, this 3-minute gratitude pause is about consciously acknowledging what we are thankful for. We can list 3 specific things, or we can recall a positive experience and really immerse ourselves in it. The key is active, intentional focus.
You've summarized it perfectly, Lisa. It's about shifting your focus, even for just a few minutes, to appreciate the good that already exists. This practice complements the calming techniques by fostering a more positive and resilient mindset. It's a powerful tool for your daily reset.
It really does feel that way.
It's like finding little pockets of joy throughout the day.
Exactly. And it's so versatile. You can do it anywhere, waiting for a bus, during a coffee break, or right before you go to sleep.
It's amazing how simple practices can have such profound effects. I'm definitely going to be incorporating this more consciously.
Fantastic. And that's what the daily reset is all about, finding those small, actionable steps that make a big difference. We've covered stillness, breath, and now gratitude. We're building a wonderful toolkit for managing our minds and emotions.
It's exciting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Indeed. So, remember, even 3 minutes can recalibrate your entire day. Take that moment to appreciate what you have.
Thank you, Alex. This has been incredibly insightful.
My pleasure, Lisa. So, what's on the horizon for our reset journey? Next episode, we'll explore how to check in with your internal energy levels and recharge your battery using quick, effective methods. Welcome back. Last time, we explored the transformative power of gratitude. Now, let's tackle understanding and recharging our internal battery.
That's right, Alex. We're talking about the energy check-in. It's about becoming more attuned to how we're feeling, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too. It's like a quick diagnostic for your own system.
Exactly. Think about it. We often operate on autopilot, pushing through our day without truly noticing if our energy levels are dipping. We might feel tired, restless, or unfocused, but we just keep going, right? We're running on fumes, and that's unsustainable.
Absolutely. And then we wonder why we get irritable, make mistakes, or feel completely drained by the end of the day. It's because we haven't been paying attention to our own energy meters. This episode is all about learning to read those meters and then, crucially, how to add some power back to the charge.
So, let's start with awareness. The first step is simply to pause and ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? It sounds simple, but it's a powerful question. Don't just think about it. Try to feel it in your body. Are you feeling energized and alert? Or are you feeling sluggish and tired? Maybe somewhere in between?
And this isn't about judgment, is it? It's not about thinking, oh, I should be feeling energetic, or it's bad that I'm tired. It's just an observation. Observing your energy allows you to understand what you need.
Precisely. Lisa, that's a fantastic point. It's purely observational. So, when you do this energy check-in, what are some of the things you might notice? What does a low energy feeling manifest as?
Well, for me, when my energy is low, I often feel a heaviness in my limbs or a sort of fog in my head. My shoulders might feel tense, or I might have a dull ache somewhere. I also notice my patience wearing thin very quickly. Small things start to annoy me.
Those are great examples. For me, low energy can feel like a constant urge to fidget, or on the flip side, an inability to focus on any one task. My mind might race or feel completely blank. Some people might even feel a physical sensation, like a tightness in their chest or a knot in their stomach.
And it's not just about physical tiredness, is it? Our mental and emotional energy plays a huge role. If we're constantly worried about something or feeling overwhelmed by our to-do list, that can drain our energy just as much as a lack of sleep.
That's absolutely true. We have different types of energy: physical, mental, and emotional. An energy check-in allows us to gauge all three. So, once we've done that initial assessment, that honest observation of where we are, the next step is identifying what's draining that energy.
The energy drainers. I feel like my list could be quite long. For me, it's often context switching too much or engaging in conversations that feel superficial or draining. And, of course, endlessly scrolling through social media can feel like a black hole for my energy.
Those are very common ones. For many, prolonged exposure to negativity, either in the news or in our environment, can be a significant drain. Unresolved tasks or feeling behind on our commitments can also leach our mental energy. And sometimes, it's just the sheer volume of demands on our time and attention.
So, the idea is to become more mindful of these drains so we can either avoid them or minimize their impact. But Alex, what if we've checked in, we know we're low on energy, and we've identified a few drains, but we can't immediately eliminate them? We still have a job to do, or responsibilities to meet.
That's where the recharging strategies come in, and we'll explore many of them throughout this series. But for today, let's introduce a couple of quick, accessible ways to put a little power back into that battery. These are micro practices, remember? They're designed to fit into your busiest day.
I love the idea of micro practices for energy. What's one of the simplest things we can do?
One of the most effective and often overlooked is simply stretching. When we sit for long periods, our circulation can slow down and our muscles can become tight. This can contribute to that sluggish feeling. So, a few simple stretches, reaching your arms overhead, rolling your shoulders, a gentle neck stretch, can make a surprising difference.
Oh, I can feel it already. Just imagining that. What about something else?
A mindful sip of water. It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But dehydration is a significant contributor to fatigue. When you take a sip of water, don't just gulp it down. Pay attention to the sensation. Feel the coolness, the texture, the way it travels down your throat. Make it a deliberate act of self-care.
That's brilliant. It's like hitting a tiny refresh button. So, to recap for our listeners, first, we become aware by doing an energy check in. We observe how we're feeling physically, mentally, and emotionally without judgment. This is key to understanding our current state.
Then, we identify potential energy drainers. This awareness helps us make conscious choices about how we spend our energy. And finally, even when we can't eliminate all the drains, we can implement quick, micro practices to start recharging. We've discussed simple stretches and mindful sips of water as immediate energizers.
It's about building a relationship with our own energy, understanding its ebb and flow, and learning to nudge it in a more positive direction, even in small ways, throughout the day. It's not about suddenly having boundless energy, but about having enough to navigate your day with more ease and resilience.
Exactly, Lisa. And this self-awareness isn't just about feeling better in the moment. It's about improving our overall effectiveness, our mood, and our relationships. When we're not running on empty, we have so much more to give. So, over the next few episodes, we'll be building on this foundation of energy awareness with more specific strategies for physical and mental revitalization.
I'm really looking forward to that. It feels like such a fundamental piece of the puzzle for sustainable well being.
It truly is. So, for this week, I encourage you to practice that simple energy check-in at least a couple of times a day. Notice how you feel. And if you're feeling low, try a quick stretch or a mindful sip of water. Small actions can lead to significant shifts.
That's a wonderful takeaway. And it sets us up perfectly for our next episode, where we'll be looking at micro movements for maximum impact.
That's right. We'll explore how even the smallest physical actions can have a surprisingly powerful effect on our energy levels and our overall mood. Next episode, micro movement for maximum impact. Welcome back. Last time, we explored how to check in with your energy levels and recharge your internal battery.
And today, we're amplifying that energy boost with movement. We're talking about micro movements, small, intentional physical actions that make a huge difference in how we feel, both physically and mentally.
Exactly, Lisa. Resetting your mind often seems like a mental exercise, but our bodies and minds are incredibly connected. When our bodies feel stagnant, our minds can feel sluggish too. Today's episode is all about the power of micro movement for maximum impact.
I love this because many of us spend a lot of time sitting, whether at a desk, in a car, or on a couch. We get stuck. Then we feel that afternoon slump, mental fog, and general stiffness.
Prolonged sitting can lead to decreased circulation, muscle tightness, and feeling drained. It's like our internal engine is sputtering. But you don't need a full hour at the gym to combat this. We're talking about just a few minutes sprinkled throughout your day.
So, when you say micro movement, what exactly are we looking for? A full workout?
Not at all. Think of it as deliberate, small bursts of physical activity. It's about shifting your physical state to positively impact your mental state. It's about waking up your body, even a little, to wake up your mind. We'll explore simple stretches, desk-friendly yoga poses, and quick bursts of activity.
Okay, that sounds manageable. Can you give an example of a micro movement for someone sitting at a desk?
Absolutely. Let's start with something super simple, neck rolls. Gently tilt your head towards your right shoulder, feeling a slight stretch. Hold for a breath. Then slowly bring your head back to center and tilt towards your left shoulder. Hold for a breath. Now, slowly drop your chin towards your chest, feeling the stretch along the back of your neck.
Ooh, I can feel that already. A subtle release, but it's there.
Exactly. And you can do this several times. Then consider shoulder rolls. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, roll them back, and then down. Do this a few times, forwards and backward. This helps release tension that often builds up in our upper back and shoulders from hunching over a keyboard.
That's a common spot for tension. My shoulders feel like they're permanently trying to creep up to my ears.
Right? So these small movements can gently coax them back down. Another excellent one is a seated spinal twist. Sit tall in your chair with your feet flat on the floor. Gently twist your torso to the right, placing your left hand on your right knee and your right hand on the chair behind you for support. Breathe here, feeling the gentle rotation.
This feels good. It's like wringing out any stiffness in your spine.
Precisely. And remember, we're improving circulation. Better blood flow means more oxygen to your brain, which directly translates to better focus and sharper thinking. We're connecting back to that energy check-in from episode 5. If you felt your energy dipping, a few moments of micro movement can be a fantastic way to bring it back up.
It's like giving your body a gentle nudge to say, hey, time to get activated.
That's a great way to put it. Now let's talk about desk yoga poses. You don't need a yoga mat or to contort yourself. One great pose is the seated cat-cow. Start in your chair, sitting tall. As you inhale, arch your back, draw your chest forward, and look slightly up. This is like a cow pose.
And then on the exhale,
On the exhale, you'll round your spine, tuck your chin to your chest, and draw your navel toward your spine. It's like a cat's arched back. You can flow between these two for a few breaths, moving with your breath.
it's amazing how much of a difference that simple spinal flexion and extension can make.
It truly is. And it's also a great way to reconnect with your breath, which we covered in episode 2, weaving all these practices together. Another useful one is the seated forward fold. From your seated position, gently hinge at your hips, letting your torso drape over your legs. Let your arms hang loosely or rest them on your shins.
This one feels like it's releasing tension in the hamstrings and lower back, which can get really tight when we sit for long periods.
Absolutely. And for those times when you just need a quick energy surge, try simple bursts of activity. Standing up and marching in place for 30 seconds can get your heart rate up a little. Or even better, find a set of stairs and walk up and down them a few times.
Stairs. I always forget about the stairs. It's such an easy way to get some cardio in without even thinking about it.
Precisely. And for those with a bit more space or a moment to themselves, a few jumping jacks or even just a brisk walk around the office or your home can work wonders. The key is intention. It's not just random fidgeting. It's a conscious effort to move your body and shift your energy.
So, to recap for our listeners, we're talking about simple stretches like neck and shoulder rolls, desk-friendly yoga poses such as seated cat-cow and forward fold, and quick activities like marching in place or using stairs. The goal is to release physical tension, improve circulation, and boost our energy levels, which in turn helps our mental clarity.
That's a perfect summary, Lisa. And remember, consistency is key. You don't need to do a full routine every time. Even one or two of these micro movements, done regularly, can make a significant difference. Try to schedule them in. After every hour of sitting, set a timer for 2 minutes of movement. Or, when you get up to grab a drink of water, do a quick stretch.
Make it a habit. Build it into the flow of your day seamlessly. It's about being mindful of your body's needs throughout the day, not just during dedicated workout times.
Exactly. By integrating these micro movements, you're not just refreshing your body, you're refreshing your mind, combating fatigue, and setting yourself up for a more productive and positive day. These small investments in physical well-being yield significant returns in mental clarity and overall vitality.
It's proof that even the smallest actions can have the biggest impact when done intentionally and consistently.
And that's the essence of a daily reset. So, starting today, I encourage you to find one or two micro movements that resonate with you and try to incorporate them into your day. Your body and mind will thank you.
Absolutely. So, what's next on our journey to daily rejuvenation?
Well, we've covered mental pauses, breath work, gratitude, energy checks, and now movement. Next time, we're going to explore the power of engaging our senses to help us reset. It's about grounding ourselves in the present moment and finding calm through sensory awareness.
Ooh, I can't wait. That sounds fascinating. Next episode, the power of sensory focus.
That's right. Join us then. Welcome back. Last time, we explored micro movements for maximum impact. Today, we're diving into something incredibly powerful, the power of sensory focus as a reset tool.
Sensory focus. Alex, I like the sound of that. We've talked a lot about finding stillness, but how do our senses play into that reset?
It's a fantastic question, Lisa. Remember how we discussed the 60-second stillness in episode 3? The idea was to carve out small pockets of calm in our day. Engaging our senses is a natural, almost effortless way to achieve that. Think about it. When we're stressed or overwhelmed, our minds often race, jumping from one worry to another. We're lost in thought, not fully present.
That's so true. My mind feels like a runaway train sometimes.
Exactly. And that's where our senses come in. They are our direct connection to the present moment. By intentionally tuning into what we see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, we anchor ourselves right here, right now. It's a way to pull ourselves out of that mental clutter and into a tangible reality. This is foundational to mindfulness, and it's a perfect complement to the stillness we've been cultivating.
So it's about actively noticing what's around us rather than just passively experiencing it.
Precisely. Let's start with our sense of sight. We can practice a simple reset by just noticing 5 things around us. Don't judge them, don't analyze them, just observe. What are 5 things you can see right now, Lisa?
Okay, I see my water bottle. I see the microphone in front of me. I see the plant on the shelf. I see the lamp. And I see the pattern on my notepad.
Wonderful. And did you notice how just doing that, even for a few seconds, might have slightly shifted your focus? It interrupts the thinking loop. Now let's try it with sound. This is our sense of hearing. Close your eyes for a moment if you feel comfortable and just listen. What do you hear?
I hear your voice, of course. I hear a faint hum, probably the air conditioning. I hear a car outside. And I think I hear a bird chirping very faintly.
Excellent. See how even in a seemingly quiet space, there's a symphony of sounds if we choose to listen? This practice is incredibly useful when you feel your mind is racing. You simply pause and identify 3 sounds you hear. It's a quick way to ground yourself.
It's like a mini auditory meditation.
Exactly. And a mini auditory meditation can offer a significant reset. Now, what about smell? Our sense of smell is powerfully linked to memory and emotion. Even a subtle aroma can transport us or bring us back to the present.
I hadn't thought about smell as a reset tool.
It's a subtle but effective one. You could try keeping a small essential oil roller, perhaps lavender or peppermint, in your bag. When you need a reset, just take a moment to inhale the scent. Or simply notice any existing aromas around you. The smell of coffee, rain on dry earth, or even freshly printed paper. Our olfactory sense can be a surprisingly strong anchor.
I can see how that would work. It's so primal, isn't it? Before we even started thinking abstractly, we were experiencing the world through our senses.
That's the beauty of it. It bypasses much of the mental chatter. And speaking of primal, let's talk about taste. Mindful eating is a fantastic sensory reset. When you next have a snack or a meal, try to really taste it. Notice the textures, the temperature, the nuances of flavor.
So, no just shoveling food in while scrolling through my phone?
Precisely. Instead, take one bite of your food, and really explore it with your taste buds. What are the different components of the flavor? Is it sweet, salty, bitter, sour? What's the texture like? Is it crunchy, smooth, chewy? This practice not only enhances your appreciation for food, but also provides a focused sensory break. It's a delicious reset.
That's a sweet way to put it, Alex. Literally.
And finally, let's not forget our sense of touch. Our skin is our largest organ, constantly sending signals to our brain. When we feel overwhelmed, we can intentionally focus on tactile sensations.
How can we do that in a practical way?
It can be as simple as feeling the fabric of your clothes against your skin. Notice the texture, the temperature, or feel your feet on the ground. Wiggle your toes. Feel the solid support beneath you. You can also hold an object, a smooth stone, a piece of wood, a comforting mug, and just focus on its weight, its texture, its temperature. This is about grounding yourself physically, which in turn calms your mind.
It's like feeling your own presence in the world.
Exactly. By engaging these senses one at a time, or even in combination, we're essentially hitting a refresh button on our brain. We're shifting our attention from the abstract worries of the past or future to the concrete reality of the present. This practice is so valuable because it's accessible anywhere, anytime.
So, to recap, we can use our senses for a quick reset by first, observing what we can see. Second, consciously listening to the sounds around us. Third, intentionally noticing smells. Fourth, mindfully tasting our food or drink. And fifth, focusing on the sensation of touch.
That's a perfect summary, Lisa. These aren't long practices. You could do a quick sensory scan for just 30 seconds or dedicate a minute or two. The key is intentionality. It's about consciously choosing to engage your senses as a way to interrupt that cycle of overthinking and bring yourself back to a state of calm presence.
It's fascinating how these simple, natural things can have such a profound effect on our mental state. It builds on the stillness we learned earlier, doesn't it? Instead of just trying to empty our minds, we're filling them with present moment awareness through our senses.
Precisely. And by doing this regularly, you'll find your ability to focus improves, your stress levels decrease, and you'll feel more connected to your environment and yourself. It's a beautiful way to integrate mindfulness into the fabric of your daily life, turning those in-between moments into powerful reset opportunities.
I'm really excited to try out these sensory resets in my own day. It feels so practical and, well, real.
It is. And the more you practice, the more natural and effortless it becomes. It's a skill, and like any skill, it gets stronger with use. Next episode, we'll explore how to leverage those transition times in your day, those moments between tasks, for intentional resets. Welcome back. Last time, we explored engaging your senses to find calm. Now, let's harness those overlooked in-between moments.
You mean times when we're just waiting, like for an elevator or a web page or walking between meetings? Those feel like lost time.
Exactly. But they're prime opportunities for effortless resets. They're natural breaks we can intentionally fill.
So, instead of distraction, we actively use them. How? Without needing dedicated time. It's about micro practices after all.
These moments are already in our routine. We just add intention. Let's start with breath. Remember episode two's foundational breath work?
Yes.
Focusing on inhales and exhales. That simple act still feels powerful.
So, waiting for coffee, take 3 conscious, deep breaths. Inhale slowly, exhale even slower. That's a reset in under 30 seconds.
3 breaths. So, doable. It applies a familiar tool to a new situation just like we learned.
It's about integration. This works for commutes too, driving, on public transport, or walking. There are times you aren't actively engaged.
My commute is usually a blur of to-do lists or podcasts. It's active, but not restful.
That's perfect for a micro meditation, like episode three's 60-second stillness. Observe your surroundings without judgment. Notice colors, sounds, your feet on the ground.
So instead of my mind racing, I can just be present for a minute? That sounds challenging, but freeing.
It is. You're shifting focus, disengaging from chatter, and plugging into your experience. It's a mini pause button, interrupting stress before it builds.
I see how that would work. What about waiting in line at the grocery store? Those can feel tedious.
Those are perfect for cultivating gratitude from episode 4. Just bring one thing you're thankful for to mind. The cheerful color someone's wearing, sunlight through the window.
One thing. That's it?
That's it. It's a quick shift in your emotional state, not a deep journaling session. Gratitude counters frustration and impatience.
So, breath work, micro meditations, and gratitude, pulled from earlier episodes, but applied to these pauses. Tiny gifts of calm and clarity.
Exactly. We can also use sensory focus from episode 7. Walking between meetings, notice the air on your skin, your footsteps, or savor a discreet sip of water.
It's intentionally using the transition rather than enduring it. These in between moments become opportunities.
They offer a chance for an energy check-in from episode 5. Feeling tense? Breathe. Overwhelmed? Focus on a sense. Feeling down? Think of something you're grateful for. You're managing your internal state.
It's like weaving these micro practices into our day, not finding separate time.
That's integration. These in-between moments are potent. They offer natural pauses to disconnect from demands and reconnect with ourselves.
So, next time I'm waiting, I'll try not to reach for my phone. I'll attempt those conscious breaths, notice my surroundings, or think of something I'm grateful for, even for a minute.
Precisely. Claim those tiny fragments. They add up. Consistently using these moments for quick resets builds resilience, reduces stress, and enhances presence. You're actively tending to your well-being.
It makes days feel less like a relentless march and more like a series of moments we control.
You got it. So, to recap, today we learned to leverage in-between moments, commutes, waits, walks as opportunities for micro resets. We can use foundational breathwork from episode 2 for calming, micro meditation from episode 3 for presence, and swift gratitude from episode 4. These moments are fertile ground for intentional pauses.
And we can also use them for quick energy check-ins and sensory focus, referencing episodes 5 and 7. It's about weaving these practices seamlessly into our day.
Exactly. Don't underestimate the power of these small, intentional acts. They build a more balanced and resilient you. Next episode, combating mental clutter with a focus reset. Welcome back to the Daily Reset. Last time, we explored leveraging small in-between moments and transition times. Today, we're combating mental clutter and distraction with a focus reset.
Oh, mental clutter. That feels like a constant hum these days. My brain often feels like a browser with 50 tabs open.
Exactly. It's that feeling of being pulled in a million directions, unable to settle on one thought, or worse, unable to start a task because the mental noise is overwhelming. This episode is about bringing clarity and sharper focus to your day with simple micro practices.
So, how do we tame those 50 browser tabs in our minds?
We start by acknowledging our minds aren't designed for constant, unbroken attention. They naturally wander. The key isn't to stop thoughts, but to guide your attention intentionally. Think of it like training a puppy. You gently guide it back when it wanders.
That's a great analogy. What's our first tool for this focus reset?
Our first tool is the brain dump. This is getting what's swirling in your head out onto paper or a digital note. It's about externalizing your thoughts, worries, and ideas.
So, just writing everything down? Sounds too simple.
The beauty is in its simplicity, and its power is in the release. When you write things down, you're telling your brain, I've captured this. I don't need to juggle it internally. This frees up mental bandwidth. Set a timer for 2 minutes. Write down every single thing that comes to mind, no matter how small.
Okay, I can visualize that. So, if I had a thought like, did I reply to that email? Or I need to buy milk, I'd just jot those down?
Precisely. You capture them. The goal isn't to solve them then, but to acknowledge them and get them out of your active mental workspace. This technique is similar in principle to the micro meditations we discussed earlier, where we focus on a single point. The brain dump anchors our scattered thoughts onto a tangible list.
That makes sense. It's like decluttering your mental desk. After the brain dump, what's next for regaining focus?
After your brain dump, use a technique we'll call the focused anchor. This is where you consciously direct your attention onto one specific thing. It could be a single task, a sensory experience, or your breath. Remember sensory focus from earlier? This is a directed application of that principle for focus.
How do we do that? Choose one thing, then what?
Let's say you have a report to write. After your brain dump, identify write report as your priority. Now, deliberately bring your attention to that one task. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, then open them and commit your focus to that report. If your mind wanders, gently acknowledge it and bring your attention back to the task. Even a minute of concentrated effort is more productive than 10 minutes of distracted effort.
So it's about making a conscious choice to focus and having a strategy for when our minds try to pull us away.
Exactly. A powerful way to enhance focus is through focused visualization. Before you start a task, take 30 seconds to vividly imagine yourself successfully completing it. Picture yourself engaged, focused, and achieving the desired outcome. This mental rehearsal primes your brain for success.
I love this. It's like giving your brain a preview of the goal, making it feel more achievable.
It absolutely is. It builds a mental bridge to accomplishment. Another practical strategy for combating clutter and improving focus is task chunking. This involves breaking down larger, potentially overwhelming tasks into smaller, manageable subtasks.
Like, instead of organize garage, it becomes clear workbench, then sort tools, then dispose of old paint.
Precisely. Seeing those smaller steps on your list after your brain dump makes the project feel less daunting. Each completed chunk provides a sense of progress, which is a powerful motivator. This addresses that where do I even start? Feeling mental clutter often creates.
So, we've got the brain dump to clear space, the focused anchor to direct attention, visualization to prime our minds, and task chunking to make work manageable. That's a fantastic toolkit.
It truly is. And remember, these are micro practices. You can integrate them throughout your day. Just finished a meeting? Do a quick 30-second brain dump of immediate action items. Feeling a wave of distraction? Take 60 seconds to practice your focused anchor, perhaps by focusing on your breath.
It's about building these small, intentional moments of clarity. It feels less like a chore and more like a natural part of my workflow once I get into the habit.
That's the goal. The more you practice these focus resets, the more you'll notice a shift. You'll feel greater control over your attention, a reduction in that scattered feeling, and ultimately, increased productivity and peace of mind.
It's fascinating how these simple techniques, building on the pausing principle, can have such a profound impact on our mental landscape. We're not just clearing clutter, we're creating space for what truly matters.
You've hit the nail on the head, Lisa. We're cultivating intentionality. We're moving from a reactive state of being overwhelmed to a proactive state of directing our focus. This is how we start to master our minds, one micro practice at a time.
So, to recap today's focus reset strategies, we have the brain dump to get thoughts out of our heads, the the focused anchor to direct our attention, focused visualization to mentally prepare for success, and task chunking to make larger projects feel manageable.
Exactly. These are powerful tools to combat mental clutter and sharpen your focus.
I'm already feeling a little calmer just talking about it.
That's the power of understanding and applying these techniques. Next time, we'll be exploring emotional agility, learning how to navigate our feelings with these same principles of intentional pausing and micro resets.
Looking forward to it.
Until then, keep practicing your pauses and finding your focus. Thanks for listening. Welcome back. Last time, we explored how to combat mental clutter with focus resets. Today, we are tackling emotional agility.
That's such a crucial topic, Alex. We all experience a wide range of emotions daily, and sometimes they can feel overwhelming. This idea of emotional agility sounds like it could be a real game changer for dealing with stress and everyday challenges.
Absolutely, Lisa. Emotional agility isn't about suppressing emotions or pretending they don't exist. It's about recognizing what you're feeling, understanding it, and then responding in a way that aligns with your values, rather than just reacting impulsively. Think of it like surfing. You're not in control of the waves, but you can learn to ride them.
Riding the waves. I like that analogy. So, how do our micro practices fit into this? I recall in episode 2, we talked about foundational breath work. How does breathing help with our emotions?
That's a perfect starting point, and it connects directly back. Remember how deep, intentional breathing helps calm our nervous system? When we feel overwhelmed by an emotion, say anxiety or frustration, our bodies often go into a fight or flight response. Our heart rate increases, our breathing becomes shallow. By consciously taking a few slow, deep breaths, we signal to our brain that we're safe. This gives us a moment of space, a pause, before we get swept away by the feeling.
So, that immediate breath reset acts like a circuit breaker for our intense emotional reactions. We create a little distance between the feeling and our response.
Exactly. And building on that, we can introduce a practice called a body scan specifically for emotional awareness. This is a short, mindful exercise. You might take just 60 seconds, like those micro meditations we discussed. Close your eyes or soften your gaze and gently bring your attention to your physical sensations. Where do you notice this emotion manifesting in your body? Is it a tightness in your chest? A knot in your stomach? A heat in your face?
Oh, that's interesting. So instead of just dwelling on the thought, you're anchoring yourself to the physical experience of the emotion. It makes it feel more tangible, perhaps less scary.
Precisely. By noticing the physical sensations without judgment, just observing them, we start to detach from the overpowering narrative of the emotion. It's like saying, okay, I'm noticing a feeling of sadness and it feels like a heavy weight in my chest. You're acknowledging it, but not becoming it. You're observing the wave, not drowning in it.
And this doesn't take long at all, right? We're talking about a micro practice.
Not all. You can do this for 30 seconds, a minute, maybe 2 minutes. It's about creating a small pocket of awareness. Another powerful tool links back to our discussion on gratitude, but we can adapt this for emotions. It's a self-compassion pause. When you notice a difficult emotion, you can gently acknowledge it and then offer yourself a brief moment of kindness.
Self-compassion, that sounds very different from how some of us are conditioned to react to our own struggles.
It can be. The self-compassion pause is simple. First, acknowledge the difficulty. This is a moment of suffering, or this hurts. Then, remind yourself of our shared humanity. Suffering is a part of life, or everyone struggles sometimes. And finally, offer yourself kindness. May I be kind to myself, or may I accept myself as I am.
Wow.
Just those few phrases, repeated silently to yourself, would likely shift your internal state significantly when you're feeling down or overwhelmed. It's a gentle reframing, isn't it?
It is. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer a dear friend who is going through a tough time. When we're stuck in difficult emotions, we often turn inward with criticism. Self-compassion is an antidote to that. Remember when we talked about recharging your internal battery? Self-compassion is a way of refueling your emotional reserves.
So we have breath work to calm our system, body scans to recognize where emotions live in us, and self-compassion to offer kindness. These are all very concrete and actionable. How do these connect to navigating more complex emotional situations?
They build upon each other. When you're more aware of your physical sensations and can offer yourself compassion, you're less likely to be derailed by challenging feelings. For instance, if you're facing a difficult conversation at work and you notice your anxiety rising, perhaps a tightness in your throat and a racing heart, you can first take a few deep breaths. Then you might do a quick body scan, noticing that sensation in your throat. You can acknowledge, I'm feeling anxious about this conversation, and then offer a self-compassion phrase like, it's okay to feel this way and I'll do my best.
This sounds like it fosters a sense of resilience. Instead of avoiding difficult emotions, you're developing the capacity to move through them.
Precisely. And this concept is what we call emotional agility. It's about being able to experience your emotions, even the uncomfortable ones, without getting stuck. It's about allowing yourself to feel anger, sadness, or fear, recognizing that these are temporary states, and then choosing your actions based on what truly matters to you.
So, it's not about having perfect, never-ending happiness, but about having the tools to handle the full spectrum of human experience.
Exactly. And this is where our concept of intentional in-between moments comes in. You can use those transition times, waiting for a bus, walking to your next meeting, to quickly check in with your emotions. A 30-second body scan or a quick self-compassion mantra can prevent those small, uncomfortable feelings from snowballing.
It seems like the more we practice these micro resets, the more our capacity for emotional agility grows. They become less like separate techniques and more like an integrated way of being.
That's the ultimate goal. Emotional agility allows us to maintain our presence and clarity even when life throws us curveballs. It's about understanding that difficult emotions are signals, not threats. They provide information, and when we can process them with awareness and kindness, we can respond more effectively. Remember when we discussed combating mental clutter? This is a way to declutter our emotional landscape. By acknowledging and processing feelings instead of pushing them away, we free up mental energy.
So, to recap this episode on emotional agility, we learned that it's about navigating feelings, not avoiding them. We can use foundational breath work to calm our nervous system, body scans to identify where emotions manifest physically, and self-compassion pauses to offer kindness to ourselves. These micro practices allow us to create space between an emotion and our reaction, enabling us to respond more intentionally and align our actions with our values.
That's a fantastic summary, Lisa. Emotional agility is a continuous practice, and these micro resets are your allies in developing it. They empower you to face your feelings with courage and compassion.
Next episode, we'll focus on how to weave all these powerful micro practices into your unique daily routine.
We'll see you then. Welcome back to the Daily Reset. Let's build your personalized reset routine.
That's right, Alex. We've gathered all the tools, and now we're figuring out which ones fit us best and when. We've learned so many ways to reset, but the real magic is in tailoring them to our individual needs.
Exactly. The first step to building your personalized routine is understanding yourself and your day. When you feel your energy dip, when does your mind wander or get overwhelmed? Identifying these natural lulls is crucial.
So, it's about observing our patterns? Like, I know I tend to feel sluggish around 3 p.m. That's my cue to do something. It's about using these practices when we actually need them.
Precisely. And what kind of need are you addressing? Are you physically drained, like we discussed with the energy check-in? Or are you mentally scattered, as we tackle with the focus reset? Sometimes it's an emotional challenge, which brings us back to emotional agility.
That's a great point. So, when I notice that 3 p.m. slump, I need to ask myself, why am I slumping? Am I tired? Stressed? Overwhelmed?
Bored?
The answer will help me choose the right tool.
You've got it. If you're feeling physically tired, maybe a quick micro-movement sequence will be perfect. Remember episode 6? Just a few stretches can make a world of difference. Or if you need to re-energize your focus, a minute of mindful observation, engaging your senses can do wonders.
I remember the sensory focus. Tuning into what I can see, hear, and feel for just 60 seconds really snaps me out of that mental fog. It's so simple, but so effective.
It truly is. Now, think about how much time you realistically have. We design these practices to be short. Micro-meditations are the perfect example. Just 60 seconds. Gratitude pauses are only 3 minutes. Can you carve out 2 or 3 of these small pockets of time throughout your day?
That's the key, isn't it? It's not about finding a huge amount of time, but weaving these tiny resets into the fabric of our existing day. Maybe before a big meeting, I could take a 1 minute breath reset. After a challenging call, perhaps a quick 3 minute gratitude pause.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment. What works wonders for one person might not be the perfect fit for another, or even for you on a different day. Our needs are fluid. So try different combinations and see what resonates.
So, for example, if I'm feeling anxious before a presentation, I might start with a breath reset, then follow it up with a quick gratitude pause to shift my mindset. Or maybe I'll combine a micro movement with a brief focus exercise.
Perfect. And when you find a combination that feels particularly effective, make a note of it. You can keep a simple journal or a note on your phone. When feeling X, try Y and Z. This helps solidify those connections and makes it easier to access them when you need them.
That's a brilliant idea. It takes the guesswork out of it when you're already feeling stressed. You've got your go to strategies ready, and it helps us see the progression. We started with the basics, like breathing, and now we're building on that with more complex integrations.
Absolutely. Remember when we emphasized the foundational breath reset? That simple technique can be the anchor for so many other practices. You can pair it with visualizations, with affirmations, or even use it to ground yourself before diving into a focus exercise. It's about building layers of calm and focus.
It's like creating your own personal recipe for well being. And the beauty is, there's no single right way to do it. It's about discovering what nourishes you. My routine might look very different from someone else's, and that's okay.
Indeed, another important aspect is scheduling. While many of these practices are spontaneous, intentionally scheduling a few can be incredibly powerful. It's like setting an appointment with yourself. A reminder on your phone, even just 5 minutes before your usual afternoon slump, can prompt you to activate your chosen reset.
So, not just waiting for the feeling to hit, but proactively setting up moments of pause. My calendar might have a 2:55 p.m. reminder, 5 minute reset. That prompt gives me permission to step away and do one of the practices I've found effective.
Exactly. And by consistently incorporating these short resets, you're not just reacting to stress, you're actively building resilience. You're training your brain and body to return to a state of balance more quickly and efficiently. It's proactive self-care.
And this integration is what takes it from being a set of exercises we learned to a true daily habit. It becomes second nature. We're not just doing the practices anymore, we're living them.
That's the ultimate goal. Think about how far we've come. We started with the idea of the pause, introduced breath, explored micro-meditations, gratitude, energy checks, movement, sensory focus, leveraging transitions, clearing clutter, and managing emotions. Now we're putting all those pieces together into a personalized mosaic.
It's incredible how these seemingly small pauses, when integrated thoughtfully, can create such a significant shift in our overall well-being and our ability to navigate the demands of daily life.
And the key to making it stick? Consistency and a willingness to adapt. As life changes, so too might your ideal reset routine. So keep checking in with yourself, keep experimenting, and keep refining.
So, to recap for our listeners, build your personalized reset routine by first understanding your daily patterns and identifying your needs. Then, select micro practices that best address those needs, considering the time you have available. Experiment with different combinations, note what works best, and consider intentionally scheduling a few of these resets.
And remember, the goal is to make these practices a sustainable, integrated part of your life. It's about creating a personalized system that supports your overall well-being.
This is such a powerful step in truly making the daily reset a lifelong practice.
Indeed. And speaking of making it a lifelong practice, that's exactly what we'll be discussing in our next episode, where we'll explore how to sustain your momentum and overcome any plateaus you might encounter. Next episode, sustaining the momentum, overcoming plateaus, and staying consistent. Welcome back. Last time we explored building a reset routine. Now let's focus on staying consistent.
That's right, Alex. Life happens, and maintaining our reset practices can feel challenging. Today, we're diving into how to overcome those hurdles and make the daily reset a sustainable habit.
Exactly, Lisa. Think of it like learning any skill. You wouldn't expect to be perfect immediately. You practice, you encounter difficult moments, and you might feel like you're not progressing for a while. The key is to adapt and keep going, and that applies directly to our daily reset practices.
So, what's the first big hurdle people face when trying to stay consistent? I guess it's that feeling of being stuck, like you're just going through the motions.
That's a major one. When you feel stuck, it's often a sign to revisit the why behind your practice. Remember why you started? Was it to reduce stress, improve focus, or build more joy? When we feel stuck, we've likely lost touch with that initial motivation.
So, a gentle reminder of our goals is important. But what if the actual practice itself feels stale? We've discussed foundational elements like the breath resets and the micro meditations. What if those no longer feel engaging?
That's where flexibility and self-compassion become essential. Your daily reset doesn't need to be identical every single day. If your usual breath exercise isn't resonating, try a different one. Perhaps you've used gratitude to start your day, but today you're feeling restless. A short burst of micro movement might be more suitable to shift your energy.
I love that. It emphasizes that it's not about rigid adherence, but about responding to your immediate needs. So, listeners, if you're feeling stuck, don't be hard on yourself. Instead, acknowledge it and ask, what do I need right now? It might be a different type of reset, or simply a shorter one.
Precisely. And that self-compassion is vital. Life will inevitably present challenges. You might face unexpected demands, work crises, or personal emergencies. On those days, achieving your planned reset might seem impossible. Instead of viewing it as a failure, reframe it. Recognize that you did your best under difficult circumstances.
That's a crucial point. We're not aiming for perfection. We're striving for progress and consistency over time. So, even a 1 minute reset is significantly better than none at all. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. And sometimes the feeling of being stuck is temporary. It might signal that you've reached a new level. Integrating concepts like the energy check-in can help you recognize this phase of growth. You might be experiencing a lull before a genuine breakthrough.
That's a wonderful perspective. It's not a plateau, but a pause before the next ascent. And what about those periods when life becomes overwhelmingly busy? The common feeling of, I don't have time.
That's a classic. When you feel time crunched, your micro practices often become more critical. Remember our discussion on intentional in-between moments? Those transition times, waiting in line, brief lulls between meetings, or even just walking from one place to another, are prime opportunities. Instead of reaching for your phone, use those 30 seconds for a focused breath or a quick sensory engagement.
So, it's about being aware of those small pockets of time and having a few very quick go to resets ready. Think of it like having a micro toolkit for busy moments.
Exactly. And we can also seek renewed inspiration. This might involve exploring a new micro practice that sparks your interest. While we've covered many, there are countless variations. Perhaps you might try listening to a guided meditation on a different theme or engage in a mindful walking exercise. The goal is to keep the practice fresh and engaging for you.
And sometimes, inspiration emerges from seeing the broader benefits. When you begin to notice how these brief resets are positively impacting your overall well being, perhaps you're less reactive to stress, or your focus has improved, that becomes a powerful motivator to continue. It's a self reinforcing cycle.
It certainly is. And let's revisit the idea of building your personalized routine. When you have a routine that genuinely fits your life, it becomes easier to maintain. But remember, that routine can evolve. What works for you now might change in 6 months or a year. Be open to adjusting and adapting it.
So, to summarize for our listeners, when you encounter plateaus, first, reconnect with your original motivation. Second, embrace flexibility and self compassion. It's acceptable to adapt your practice or do less on challenging days. Third, be resourceful with your time, making use of transitional moments. And finally, actively seek fresh inspiration and remember that your routine can and should evolve.
Well said, Lisa. Consistency isn't about never wavering. It's about learning to adapt, rebound, and keep moving forward. The daily reset is a journey, and these practices are designed to support you through all the ups and downs.
It truly brings everything together. We've covered a great deal, from the fundamental breath work, to gratitude, to managing mental clutter and cultivating emotional agility. These micro practices are potent tools for sustained well being.
And that brings us to our final episode. Next time, we'll explore how to truly integrate the daily reset as a lifelong practice for sustained peak performance and fulfillment. Next episode, the daily reset, a lifelong practice, integrating for peak performance. Welcome back. This is the final episode of our series.
It's true, Alex. We've explored everything from breathing techniques and micro meditations to gratitude, energy management, movement, and sensory awareness. We've also learned to leverage in between moments, tackle mental clutter, and navigate our emotions.
Exactly. Over the past 12 episodes, we've built a toolkit for integrating these practices. Remember in episode 11, we talked about building your personalized reset routine that was about weaving individual micro practices into something that works for you. It's not about doing every technique, but creating a symphony of small, manageable actions.
And that's crucial, isn't it? Moving from learning about these resets to living them. This is where we turn individual skills into a lifelong practice. So, Alex, as we wrap up this series, what are the core takeaways?
The absolute core is this. Your well-being and your performance aren't built on grand gestures or massive overhauls. They're built on consistent, small, intentional actions. Think of it like building a beautiful mosaic. Each tiny tile, each micro practice might seem insignificant on its own, but when you place them together with intention, day after day, they create something magnificent. The daily reset is that intentional placement.
That's a wonderful analogy, Alex. Tiny tiles creating a magnificent mosaic. So, consistency is key, even when life gets busy. What happens when listeners hit plateaus, those moments when motivation wanes? We touched on this in episode 12, but perhaps we can reiterate that for our final wrap up.
Absolutely. Plateaus are normal. They're not a sign of failure. They're a sign of progress. When you feel that dip, that's exactly when to lean into your existing reset practices. Instead of thinking, I'm not doing this right, think, this is a perfect opportunity to use one of my resets. Maybe it's a quick 5 breath reset, a 60-second stillness session, or simply a moment to check in with your energy. These micro actions help you navigate the dip and often lead you to rediscover your motivation.
So, it's about using the tools we've learned to get through challenges, rather than letting challenges stop us. It's a self-sustaining system.
Precisely. And as we integrate these resets, we start to notice profound shifts. We become more resilient, more focused, and more in control of our internal states. Remember when we discussed combating mental clutter in episode 9? Those focused resets, those moments of intentional stillness, are your allies in clearing out the noise.
And the emotional agility we talked about in episode 10, that comes from the regular practice of pausing, breathing, and acknowledging our feelings without being overwhelmed. It's like learning to surf the waves of our emotions instead of being knocked down by them.
You got it, Lisa. These are not just tricks or techniques. They are fundamental shifts in how we approach our lives. By consistently applying these micro practices, we are training our brains and bodies to be more adaptable, more present, and more effective. We're becoming the architects of our own well-being and performance.
And that's a powerful position to be in. So, for our listeners, as you move forward from this series, what's your final piece of advice for making the daily reset a lifelong practice?
My final piece of advice is simple. Be patient with yourself and be persistent. Don't aim for perfection, aim for presence. Even 1 or 2 intentional pauses a day can create a ripple effect. Start small, build on it, and celebrate every step. The goal isn't to achieve a perfect state of calm or peak performance all the time, but to have the ability to return to it, to recalibrate yourself whenever you need to. This is your lifelong practice, the art of returning.
The art of returning. I love that. It implies a journey, an ongoing process, and a gentle wisdom. So, to recap our entire journey, we started by understanding how even a brief pause, the power of the pause, can be a profound reset. We learned foundational breathing techniques and quick stillness exercises that can be done anywhere. We explored gratitude and energy management to cultivate positivity and maintain our reserves. We incorporated micromovements and sensory focus to reconnect with our physical selves and the present moment. We discovered how to leverage transition times and combat mental clutter, leading to enhanced focus. We also developed emotional agility, learning to navigate our feelings with grace.
And most importantly, we gave you the framework for building your personalized reset routine, the strategies for sustaining that momentum, and the understanding that this is not a destination, but a continuous, rewarding practice. It's about integrating these micro practices so they become second nature, allowing you to navigate the complexities of life with greater calm, clarity, and effectiveness.
This series has been an incredible journey, Alex, and I'm so grateful to have explored it with you and with our listeners.
The pleasure has been all mine, Lisa. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on the Daily Reset. We hope these micro practices empower you to live a more refreshed, focused, and fulfilling life, one intentional pause at a time.
Thanks for listening to the series.